welcome back to another video. It's the channel you've grown to know as Trucker Jim. Well, as of Thanksgiving last year, I stopped that trucking stuff, but instead living in a camper instead of the back of a sleeper. That's a bit of an upgrade. Climbing on roofs instead of in the back of a trailer. But one thing I learned on my first deployment up to Minnesota is campgrounds may not always be available, and they're not a permanent solution. Cool thing about a campground, when you have a camper, you can hook up to the electricity, you can hook up to their septic, their water. It's pretty sweet. Taking showers, taking poops, taking naps, having air conditioned, refrigerator full, cooking set up. I found it's easier to pack the camper than a suitcase. But I can imagine there's times where campgrounds, electricity, septic, water may not be available. And at that time, well, a camping man has to do what we call boondocking. Now, boondocking without electricity, I'm not sure about that. I got stuff to charge. The work that I plan to do as an adjuster, I'm gonna have computers, internet. I still need to be plugged in. With this new generator, can do it anywhere, on the beach, in the mountains, in a parking lot. Let's take a look. This is a 4,000 watt inverter generator made by Win. That sounded funny. When was it made? This generator, along with this cable, will give me full electrical capability in the camper, anywhere. Generators are pretty amazing things, but they're not new. In fact, generators have been around since 1831. The reason generators work is because of the Faraday law. The scientist and inventor Michael Faraday, I believe it is, back in 1831, found that when you pass something that conducts electricity like copper into a magnetic field, electricity comes out, passes through, and that's what the generator does. But this isn't just any generator, it's an inverter generator, and the reason most of you are probably watching this video and going to get an inverter generator too, it's quieter. The regular generators that work with a combustion engine, they're pretty loud. Your neighbors aren't going to like you. These, we'll see how loud it is. Now the first thing to do after you take it out of the box is turn it over on its side, and there's 4 of these. See a red piece of metal, take it off. It is a 10 millimeter. There's a 10 millimeter wrench that comes with the generator, but I grabbed a socket. The purpose of these is so the engine doesn't shake around and get damaged during shipment. I'll just put these in the little tool kit that came with the generator. These items came with it. A few wrenches, a screwdriver, and an oil funnel. The next step is to add oil. There's a few different weights of oil that you could use depending upon the temperature, but the all around is a synthetic oil that's 5W30. Takes 18.6 ounces. This has about 30 ounces in it, so we're good. To do this, you simply just take off the oil cap, and it has a little dipstick made of plastic. This doesn't come with the generator, but a lot of people recommend it. A magnetic dipstick. This is an industrial strength magnet right here. And any kind of metal shavings that may happen to be in the oil, they'll stick to this instead of circulate around in your generator's engine. If at all possible, don't spill the oil. Now this funnel's pretty awesome. And we can put about a little over half of this in. If you look, I can just see the oil level. Now we're going to put our magnetic dipstick back in, which this thing is awesome. It's a big metal knob, screws in nice and tight. Next step is the battery. The battery door has a little twist knob. You can use a flathead screwdriver, a coin, your fingernail, and the battery will just slide out. We'll use the screwdriver that came with the Win 4000. After you get that negative connected, alright, so that was easy. Now we just put the door back on. Give it a little twist so it locks in place. One of the features that led to me choosing the Win 4000 watt is its dual fuel. have two fuel choices to put in the wind generator that will generate electricity. We can use gas, but also we can use propane, and that's what we're going to be doing first, is using propane, LPG, which burns cleaner, and there's really no chance of me spilling my propane, unlike if I had a gas can in the back of my pickup truck. That just makes me a little nervous. Plus, gas is still $4 or so a gallon. In many parts of the country, even more than that. Propane, it's still like 20 bucks for a 20-pound tank. Now, the generator does come with an informative instruction guide. Very easy to understand, nicely laid out, and also a quick start guide. There's a few of these that come with the generator. And we've added oil, we've connected the battery, we've connected it to some propane. We don't have anything else plugged in. It's time to start it off. Now, the instruction manual said my battery may not have enough charge for the electric start to fire it up the first time. So we may have to pull the crank handle. But after that, the electric start should always fire it up. So what we'll do is turn it to the choke position and hit start. Come on, baby. I don't think the battery's the problem, but we are trying to start it off with propane. Let's give it another shot. Ah! As soon as I took it off choke, pow! Fired right up. And you can definitely hear it running. It's funny, when I was shopping for these, I paid $934 for this generator off Lowe's website. Home Depot had one that looked exactly like this. All the specs were the same, except in the title, it had super quiet, and it was about $100 more. So maybe the $100 super quiet will be more quieter than this, but that's not too terribly bad. What is that, maybe 55 decibels? But this is the loudest part right here, the exhaust. And it's definitely blowing off some exhaust, and that's pretty warm.
1 hour later.
Alright, the wind generator's been running for a little over an hour. I hadn't plugged anything in, but we're about to. Unplug the camper from the electricity here at home. And the lights stay on in the camper. That's no problem, but you know what happens? The air conditioning goes on. And also none of the outlets work at all. So that's what's going on now. But what we're going to do is plug our cord in right into the generator. Ooh, listen to that. She's purring like a kitten. Generators like having a load on them, a heavy load, which this will take up to 4,000 watts. Well, it's like 4,000 watts at the peak. My output is a little less running on propane than it is gasoline. That's why I picked a generator that had a little extra wattage, because I've heard if you want to run your air conditioning, you need at least 3,000. And with a 2,500 watt generator, that ain't 3,000. Say hey to everybody, Beamer. We'll show them your ball and frisbee catching skills in an upcoming video. Beamer will not leave my rug alone. He is rough on rugs. This used to be a much bigger rug, and there used to be an even bigger second rug. But Beamer, he's just rough on my rugs. What's your problem with rugs, Beamer? Huh? Boom! The air is on. Air purifier's back on. The fan, and most importantly, the air conditioner. So the generator does what it's supposed to do. And then I hit the off button. I'll have to say, I'm pretty excited about having a generator. Just the capability that it gives, the freedom to be able to set up my camper in random places and still be comfortable, it's huge. You know, I expect I'll be staying in campsites and places where I have full hookups a lot. But there's going to be times where that's not available. And I've been given some thought of how I'm going to use this. There was a lot of brands to choose from. There was the Champions, there was a couple of blue ones, there's Yamaha, there's Honda, there's the one from Harbor Freight, and I'm sure all are pretty good options. Here's a few things I was looking for. I wanted an inverter one because I didn't want it to be so loud. I wanted it to be dual fuel because I wanted to have the option to be able to run on propane and gasoline, and I'm kind of leaning towards using propane most of the time, especially while gas prices are high. And just the transporting of gasoline versus propane. I like the idea of propane. It's just not as readily available as gasoline, but you can still find it. The best is to get your tanks filled, and I would like a tank bigger than these gas grill tanks that I'm using now. I'll have to double check, but I think this will run maybe 18 hours on a 20-pound tank of propane. A big feature I was looking for is a generator that I could secure with a chain in the back of my pickup truck. This particular one has these handles on both sides, and there's also a lift-up handle for carrying it. But I'll probably hook my chain through here. But I've got a couple of chains and locks, and I can chain and secure it in the back of my truck. And with this extra cord and my original electric cord for the camper, I can connect those. The generator can be in the back of the Chevy running exhaust facing outward, connected to the camper. Or I guess I could take it out of the truck and secure it to the camper. So time will tell if the Win 4000 not super quiet was a good choice. Paid $934 at Lowe's, free shipping. The magnetic dipstick was like $10 extra. I had to order that. But it really has everything you need. I mean, the straight camper hookup, a 12 volt, a couple of USBs, a couple of 110s, electric start, a data meter, also can parallel connect. Last thing I got was a weatherproof case, because I am planning on leaving this in the back of my pickup truck, and we're going to have bad weather sometimes. This looks pretty weather resistant on its own. I went ahead and got this weatherproof cover. Boom! Weatherproof! And there you go, a little quick review, unboxing of the dual fuel generator made by Win 4000 watt. Runs off propane. We hadn't tried gas yet. But if you guys like these kind of videos, when I get new gear, new technology, figuring out and showing it with you guys, let me know in the comments. Drop a comment, and please drop a thumbs up. That helps the channel out more than you know. And we need all the help we can get here at the I don't even know what my name is channel. But we're on a journey. And we're going places. Right now it's Beamer and I. Next up, we're going to be talking about ladders. Doing a review of the 22-foot multi-purpose ladders. We're going to have the Little Giant. We're going to have the Gorilla ladder. Which one's better? Which one's a better value? Which one's safer? Which one's lighter? Which one's easier to use? Which one will get you higher? All those questions and more here on the channel that used to be about trucking, but now it's about adjusting. Adjusting to life, adjusting to the world that we live in today, adjusting to opportunities as they come. Yeah, that's what we're doing here on this channel. If you hadn't subscribed, do it. And don't forget to hit the notifications and that way you'll get notified when the ladder video goes up. See you next time.
Everybody going through a little something, sing a little song with a guitar strumming, smile on your brother, had the good love's coming, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on trucking.
I know, this video is from home, but we're gearing up to get deployed again. If I have my way, this time next week, I'll have my next assignment. Stay tuned.